Yeah, man. What is this? It's not working. It does that sometimes. That's kind of fucked up. Alright, whatever. Got the incense lit. Zoha. That is all then, friends. So yeah, what is it? Today is, I might do a little long videos here. Not long, but I'm going to talk about a couple things. We'll see how I feel. So it's 1:55 a.m. September 4th, 2020. Yeah, so like I said, man, I was talking in the last video about a couple things. I discussed everything from the Temple of Logos, Law of Attraction. We talked about regularity. We talk about different states or deeds of consciousness. What is it? Virtuous action, states of virtues rather. Action, meditation, and reflection, and how you can use every aspect of your life to solve problems and get yourself to better outcomes. And I'll talk a little bit about ET and multidimensionalism. I'll get into it because the way we categorize this nomenclature of dimensions in terms of levels of intelligence is kind of different based on what culture you're in and how it is that you look at metaphysics and transmutation in terms of the levels of intelligence that you rise into as your body and your mind gets more fit. So I'm going to talk about that. This corporate shit is a stupid fucking ass bankruptcy, friends. I'm going to tell you what it is, right? You guys didn't fucking pay for Marvelous Avengers, alright? I know there's a couple of doctors and lawyers out there that see where this money went. You're not fucking with mine, so. I didn't even watch Endgame. I had to stay away from it because I didn't get paid for Infinity Wars. I didn't get paid for any of the Avengers movies. It turned into a banquet of abuse, sexual assault, and violence. Y'all just so fucking indolent and stupid. And you're still trying to count money that y'all stole from like shit like hip-hop beats and jazz and even shit I did in late 1980s and 90s, So that's what I'm saying. I can't put up with a lot of the bullshit and hysteria I'll put up with on the news. You had your fucking chances. Y'all got to grow up for real. The amount of time you kept paying yourselves for this fucking fake-ass makeup on your suits and doing these news shows, you could have just gone the fuck up and come to Queens and handed me 100 grand cash, right? And we start with that money and we keep building every time you see me. So that's what it is, right? Y'all got to grow the fuck up. You guys are claiming you'll steal businesses if you can. So I'm going to talk about that too, how that shit works in terms of biotech development and extortion, because it's an easy scam to pull if you don't know what you're doing, right? So I'm going to get into that. So once again, I had to post on my social media. I might post it again, but if you combine biotech, you go to biotechny.com, combine any type of software, pick what you want. I mean, I'm trying to think of logistics software. You can even make your own software now with AI, really. Or, give an example, Spectrasonic, because I've been using Spectrasonic for a while. And the last one is, let's say, IBM Cloud. That's cloud hosting. That's just cloud networking for large computers. Many, many computers working together, right? Let me get situated. Sorry, it's sensitive to light. So the point I'm making is that, you could combine biotech with the cloud. And, ooh, what the fuck. And, you could do a lot of work using software. You could do it all the time. The catch is if I had to be in an office or someplace for you guys doing work, you just show up there and shoot at us, right? I got shot at every apartment I lived in. So that was the main thing my crew told me is don't trust people in New York. But it looks like New York as a crew became a cybernetic mining village. All of you started lying all the time. So, ooh, why is it doing that? So when it comes down to it, you guys are going to have to get a real story. You can't prop up your economics on this fake fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? I was on the bus just now, and a woman said, we're not moving this bus unless you pay for it. You're $275, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Your metal, even, if I'm not mistaken, even the MT framework for your MetroCard machines is stolen. That's a Microsoft product. You guys didn't pay for that. So you're scammers all around. Google's a nasty bankruptcy. Once you figure out someone at Google or someone in one of these companies has a technology or a piece of tech you want, it could be a director, whatever, you'll shoot it. Remember, they had this little social media buzz. I talked about this in my last video about Disney getting mad at the Face ID recognition software that they use on actors to project their facial expressions onto computer-generated models or characters, like Thanos and Marvels. So you guys are basically going to fucking shoot us for that software. You never fucking paid for it. So grow the fuck up, right? I never had more than 10 G's cash. I basically been running a tech company and an art firm, off wherever the fuck I'm sleeping or whatever the couch I'm sitting on, fucking broke. So, don't even get mad at yourselves. You guys scammed yourselves into bankruptcy. Don't even look stupid. I mean, I see so many of you in New York without a real fucking story. It's pathetic. So, So I'm saying, you know, when you guys are ready, just be adults. Let's go talk to Malik about biotech development. Let's go talk about this. But somewhere along the way, you guys lost yourselves in a cult, and you started making it necessary for a lot of the divas that you guys sponsor on TV and your never-ending sycophantic networks of abuse and power. You started sponsoring these divas to steal beats from us, steal instrumentals, even create cults with their fans and raise large amounts of money, fake foundations, all types of shit, jets, planes, boats, and really run around the world looking stupid and hussy trying to raise money for a movement that you can't really back even with your own countenance, your own face standing in front of me for half an hour and telling the truth. That's what's so sad about these women. They're so insecure. They got a drug and a weapon for everything. They can't even sit next to your boy in a park and just talk to me. You know, I gotta be drugged or blindfolded or all this dumb shit. When they done, they're looking to shoot someone. So fuck these dumbass birds. Most of hip-hop is like this. You're just behaviorally out of control. You couldn't even handle the money you're making. I felt bad. I mean, some of the more wiser ones amongst your collectives were saying, you know, we need leadership, we need guidance. I hate to say it, I'll tell you what it is as soon as I can find you. But, you know, as a collective, you guys make so many excuses. You know, I mean, I bought weed for my friend not too long ago. You know, I bought it like about $10 worth. This is just a small amount, like a small handful. And he had the audacity to bust my chops because I was short $1. I didn't know how to tell him, like, you know, if math is this squalid for you, you really can't handle economics at the state or city level, because, you know, hip-hop is basically a runaway train of extortion. They practically tried to kill us. Even the mayor and the governor turned on us, you know, and practically waged a war to squash us out. And they made so much fucking money off our industry and never had the audacity to a man and to a brum to walk up to our face and tell us what it is that they got to do for us, which they got to fucking pay for it. See what I'm saying? So don't make your legal system so beautiful and attractive. It really seems that you guys just felt squalid. There's no amount of money that's going to impress me at this point. I'm at a point in my career where I make all the things that you guys buy. In fact, the shit that you guys are trying to steal, I make. And I'm going to make shit in the next coming years is going to be much better than the stuff we have now. And quite frankly, I don't even think I'm going to sell that stuff in your markets, because I know for a fact that you guys didn't honor the work I already did. So it's just Cruella de Vil and the 101 Dalmatians. It's just your expensive ass fucking divas needing to shoot and kill anyone they want to for a race war about nothing, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Don't fall into this black and white shit. It's really a caste system. Notice how you don't have a way of explaining guys like Heavy D. See, I'm like a mid-tone, sort of caramel complexion, sort of like an Arabic type man, right? I'm really Moroccan, sort of Cuban, Turkish, a little Brazilian, but I'm really Haitian. I was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Haiti as a kid. Haiti's really the only country I lived in terms of the Caribbean. I saw my family flying all over fucking Mexico and Brazil, making deals. They never addressed me to a man what the fuck they were doing. I see women in New York that are Hispanic, but you always have your cute little iPhones taking selfies, but you just have nothing to say. So I'm just saying, ladies, I hope you found the love you're looking for, but there's just nothing that's substantial about this city. It's just mad fucking fake, you know. They practically had a cult ruminating around the World Trade Center. And now I still think that the large parts of the international market are building, you know, the emotional substance about the things that you buy and watch and the movies you buy, you know, about art that you stole from Heavy D. And then you made cults about it in New York. You know, you were just playing these fake fucking banquets. And you never had any real business to discuss or anything real to sell or anything real to offer. So it's pretty stupid at this point. I would have been rather seeing my kids do well and you talking to me like a real adult about what you want to accomplish. But like I said, it was an impending bankruptcy. It's 2 bankruptcies and then more science. The rare earths that we use to make computer circuits, those comes from China, Africa. The metals, iron ore that we use to make the corporate buildings in our railroads, and the metal for the chassis in our cars, that comes from Brazil and Africa. You see, you're starting to get it now, right? So the Europeans basically print money. I mean, they don't really make anything. And the French are basically griping that the biggest problem they have is importing fuel, because they have big problems with the Middle East economically and energetically. Fuel is not really solvent. You kind of need it until you get a better system for how you're going to stipulate cars on your road. You know, you could use hemp ethanol, clean energy, but even then it's expensive. So what they're saying is they got stuck in the fuel embargo. It just was so fucking miserable. So what I'm telling you is that these sort of pseudo forces, you guys got to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of the world. Racism is not going to save you. Honestly, even the best international presidents, they're mature enough to know. I go to Africa, I can go to Afghanistan, Turkey, Brazil, Cuba, Portugal, wherever the fuck, Spain, and just talk to Central Asians or people of pigment and color and relate to them. But when they come home to their constituents, they're still dealing with very, very angry, bigoted people. People that train their minds to practice racist attitudes every year. You know, they'll get into your fucking heads. That's what New York is. They're trying to train me to accept mnemonics and psychological abuse to the last fucking day. They never respected us as experimental artists, you know. They'll literally go to Caribbean and kidnap kids, you know, and force us into slave camps. When we don't do what they say, they'll fucking cut you in the face, you know. That's what I'm saying. Without advanced technology, without a more advanced platform for what we're going to do with economics, as a collective, we'd be stuck here. But The point I'm making is most of these hyper-violent, like pseudo-thugs, what they're telling you is they didn't have an economic solvency in terms of what they want to do for their families and really with their own egos. And that's kind of what's weird about it. Robotics and software, it canceled a lot of less legitimate work in the sense that you really have to know what you're doing. That's what's cool about biotech, is you can deploy things on the cloud rapidly. But that was the thing, friends, is as biotech was just developing its legitimacy, we all really needed to figure out what we want to do as a collective, you know. And I don't think you got enough of you really had a solvency plan for what you wanted to say to each other about the lies you were telling about the market. And I just think they made the basic remedial task of taking care of you and your families too expensive. So that's why I'm glad CBD came around. That's actually what I want to talk about today. The major industries that went bankrupt, that's a big one. I want to talk about bigger technology goals, that's another one. You know, and sort of the outlook on tech in terms of what we can do with technology to make the world more sustainable, so that we don't abuse the environment and produce as much waste and pollution, but still get the outcomes we want. You know, like I said, I was writing raps for some of the best rap groups all over in the last decade, and I just saw a lot of you falling out and just becoming psycho. I dealt with a couple shootouts with a couple of mainstream groups in New York and Chicago, and I saw y'all not really knowing what the fuck y'all doing. That's the thing about it. So don't grab about how I made a legendary album and I don't have to make any more fuckers. You never pay for the old music, right? So don't show up looking stupid like I gotta justify your egos. You're just fucking expensive ass egos. By the time you even buy a Ferrari, you realize you probably are driving one that I made, or some of us worked on. And even that Ferrari's not even that cool. It's just alright, you know. Another low compression engine job. And they also don't use forced induction. So, see, same thing. You know, so. But I'll be honest, a lot of the newer companies, ones that came out recently, especially the international ones that are back in the biotech extortion circles, you guys are going to end up with embargoes also. I'm already seeing you guys talk a lot of shit and still not come around with real money. So, you see how that works? So anyway, so I'm going to talk about the major industries that went bankrupt. That's probably a good thing I'll talk about today. So, like I said, I talked to my first video. I think I'm doing like COVID video number 8 now. My father is an investor in tech. He invested in companies like Motorola. He invested in the GUI industry. We were already doing like things like, he was doing like casinos and arcade machines. He just had a lot of things. Anything that involved graphical user interfaces, different tools. Some of his brothers sold things like modems and speakers. So everyone had like something they did in technology that allowed for growth, you know? He also made jazz, he also made music and film. So not only was he a technologist, but he was a director. So you end up kind of benefiting because you don't want to make a tech industry and just kind of wait for the people working in it to produce revenue. That's just basically slavery. It's like, you know, grow the fuck up. Actually have something to offer the technology that you produce. That's a more mature perspective. And I see a lot of these weird conservative cults in America. You're starting to turn into cults now because a lot of the limericks and the sort of whimsical bantering that you guys do for your prayers, a lot of that shit doesn't come true, and it's not economically viable in a world where real metaphysics and astrological and cosmic events are taking a hold of this planet, and you're gonna have to figure out what y'all are doing around that really makes sense. That's why I'm saying it's kind of silly that we're like relying on monetary instruments, but you guys are gonna hoard these jobs to the last day. Money went bankrupt so damn fast because the the conical sort of vortex really of tech and technology such as AI, robotics, things like 3D printing, you know, assembly lines, logistics, any type of batch management or large-scale management programs. Those programs basically destroyed the lesser systems of, you know, just labor unions and things like that. So I didn't want you to say they're lesser. I want you guys to all have to work, but you want to open your minds to the fact that technology will help you. Don't even be bitter about it. Accept that it will help you. Maybe it's a monopoly again, because like I said, it's kind of weird. With the internet and the advent of it, many of you didn't really trust older developers. You didn't trust people that would lead you astray. I'm Heavy D. I'm not going to spy on your nudie pics. I'm not going to hack your fucking emails. But you guys need to grow the fuck up and be mature and not fake wars or shoot or violate each other or sell weapons and drugs for sex abuse and torture. Grow the fuck up. Refine your egos. Read the sutras. Honor harmonious relationships. Otherwise, you know, just cancel your dullard asses. I didn't see enough of this generation for you guys to talk so much shit and bring on so much violence. I think it was really always like this for everyone that's, you know, elite in their skills. Once again, you guys know who the fuck I am. You know what Star Wars gets made. You know beats get made and sold. You know everyone from Hot 97, MTV, all y'all scamming your asses to the last day. You know that you guys have this bipolar, bisexual banquet where you put all these expensive looking fucking people on TV and they ain't got a real fucking story. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm an easy guy to talk to. I'm actually much nicer than most of your enemies and even most of your friends, but you know, you guys just tricked yourself so much. There's so many multi-level, multi-layer extortion plots, from everything from sexual assault to attempted murder and physical assault, home invasion, title fraud. I think you guys tried to steal a fucking building I lived in and even put fake mortgages around my family members so they look like they were working or doing something. These people are systemic vagrants. That's what I'm saying. I should have never trusted you fuckers, but we're gonna see what it is. Some of y'all just went to jail, actually, amazingly. But I shouldn't have even trusted the police. I mean, you know, you guys were already technically in prison. You were driving Ford Explorers. That's a bankrupt deal back from like what, I think 1999 or 98. I mean, you guys had to surrender that because the metal is technically stolen. That's what I'm saying. See if I get the light right. So, you know, what I'm making is that, you know, structurally the economy really wasn't backing. When you kind of connect the different corporations, who works where things really come from, you're going to notice it doesn't really make sense for everyone to be extorting everyone else. Even something as simple as a name and someone doing real work is enough to kind of tilt this favor as fake technology and illegitimate shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people really need a real story and they need to formulate a real plan. I'm honored as a kid. I think my sister or one of my relatives came around as a kid. They said only focus on real skills, because what ended up happening with the economy, a lot of y'all sat around waiting for someone to give you a check about some type of bet you made that someone would be rich or someone would be broke. And real systems of real development and science, nobody really honored those. That's what I'm saying. It's time tested, this notion of the finer things. I didn't really get to talk about that enough, but this attitude of the finer things is really an important lesson for you guys. You need to understand that most of the things we like in life that we like, they're carefully made things. They're carefully crafted with love and intelligence. I used that phrase before. So you want to make sure there's a lesson to be gained. There's epithets and attitudes about life. There's things to absorb, things that are going to help you grow and do better. Things you may have to leave behind, immature attitudes, you know. I'm amazed. It's been COVID, you know, central for the last 5 months. I've actually had been people stealing shit from me, even in the fucking park. I mean, this is how pathetic you guys are. You guys admitted that many of your industries are bankrupt. You know, many of your chain stores are bankrupt. They're just fake fucking logos. You stipulated them with pretty much money you stole. And you're still paying yourselves and taking money, and you're not paying a lot of the older investors. So I'm saying, y'all can sit your ass the fuck down. It was difficult to work in the industries I worked in as a developer. I mean, you guys just took some risks, and you just basically picked people and you sacrificed them to large-scale tech deals. And you're still yapping about how fucking important and expensive your egos are. I'm saying you can keep doing that, but I'm just going to tell you guys, it's really hard to build real skills. And the people that have them, they're not going to sit around and let you fucking ride them until, you know, that little sort of sad 2 tears in a bucket finally comes around and gives them a reward. That's the whole thing about telling a god to save you or wait for your paradise in the afterlife. No, fuck that, man. You gotta fucking pay me mine. Alright? I gotta hold it solid for my family. Like I said, it's not all debts and legal tender. It's just some. Y'all don't count on money with respect, alright? So grow the fuck up. You'll find yourselves on another planet. Under a jail. So heed wisely. Alright, so look. What I'm making is that there's a lot of fucking dullard ass shit going on. Hot 97 was a banquet of torture and abuse. I think it was like a couple of my relatives kind of posited that station because like the old, you know, Grandmaster Flash, Big Daddy Kane, Africa Bambaataa shit. Some of those were just like early experimental, you know, digital biotech beats. Some of them weren't even that good. But, you know, I remember kind of throwing my hat into some of the experimental Afrobeat, like modern sort of tech African music coming in and out of New York. It was kind of weird. They were already kind of stipulating that, you know, some of the anime we were making for Disney was already ending up sometimes being played on planes going from France to New York. And that's kind of what caused the cult. I think it was like the Pup. There was like I forget. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of that movie. It's a really silly little Warner Brothers flick that was made about 2 dogs finding love, you know, trash heap. I did a little extra work for that as a kid on my biotech. Then as I got older, it was like, well, fuck it, you know. I didn't even barely remember that movie. I made movies I couldn't even see as a kid. That's what's amazing about biotech. You can train in almost any environment. That's kind of what the Matrix is about. They're telling you if you just want to absorb knowledge, you can. You just got to be ready to either use it and accept that it's going to change you, you know. We worked in that movie also. That's kind of what part of this corporate bankruptcy shit is that many of you guys didn't pay for movies that we made a long time ago. So once again, it's just a large media circus. So let me say, what's 19 minutes in? I'm going to get to the point, right? So a couple of big industries are done. Pharmaceuticals is a big one. Pharmaceuticals is fake chicanery the whole fucking way, right? I'm going to tell you why. Pharmaceuticals is a big one. Fuel is another one. Fuel is just the stupidest thing ever. You guys basically just like to hear your exhaust at this point. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. You know, Draco EV, go search on Google for Draco EV, DRAKO EV, electric vehicle, that's what it stands for. Draco EV, search for that on Google. Tesla is just another, bad deal. They didn't pay for nothing. So I'm just saying, don't come around talking stupid. So, so the main effigy here is, we're going to keep advancing the consciousness. I mean, I think, the tools we have and the way that we relate to society has to be better. You want to feel like you're getting more problem solved and that you're promoting less waste and abuse in your community and around you. And it's a difficult thing to ascertain, but you need to really know that, if you work for a check every week and you spend like 40% of it, even more than that, there you go, and it just dwindles to nothing, then what they're telling you is they have you in a cyclical bankruptcy. They know what it costs for you to run your life because they can measure those numbers. They know what it costs for you to make money and for you to go broke. And they're going to time those cycles carefully. And when they make enough money in the market, they short it. They make a bet that this industry is going to fail. They can even sabotage it if they want, and they destroy it. So that's kind of what the subprime mortgage bubble was. There wasn't enough people stipulating real culture and real work in New York. You guys even blame that on me. Like I said, I was holding it down for the South. We had many, many ill fucking deals going. It's just that you got to understand the cultural epithet of breaks and such as that. You guys are making money off of shit, and you're not even seeing the older DJs get paid. So you're just throwing corporations at us. I don't give a fuck. You're basically slowing down the trajectory of my life so that you guys can count money now. It's not going to matter because the tools we're using are still going to advance. Your currency may not keep up, and the lies you tell definitely won't. Right? So like I said, pharmaceutical is a big one. The fuel industry is a huge, huge one. Huge fucking fake chicanery. The monetary system is a big one too. I'm glad that you guys are talking about that now. We talk about Nasera, the sort of balancing of the economy. The big one is citizenship. I'm amazed. I mean, I think in fact, especially on the East Coast in cities like New York, a lot of the land that's around this city is not owned by Americans. And that's where you guys fucking went fake. You claim you bought it from the Indians for $27 or some gems or something like that. I mean, I don't really think you guys made much. The same stipulation is we can show right back up and buy that shit because there's a lot of very powerful African and native Taino firms. Many of us have farms and large reserves of resources all over Central America and Asia. We can make money just like the best of you. So I'm just trying to figure out what your intellects are telling you about the value of currency relative to markets that don't really stipulate much. I mean, I'm just saying that I think the biggest export that these sort of more quiet domestic Catholic European families have is banking. I think you guys mainly export money, and if you want to tell the truth about it, it's really just a paper note. There's not really much about it that's holding much value. I mean, you're even admitting when black families work in America and we provide a narrative from everything from art to a lot of the shit we make that you guys buy, even sometimes steal, but you guys do pay for a lot of it. You're admitting as a collective you can't really honor any of those things. You would never actually walk up to us and say, oh, that was like a well paid for product, or I'm glad you guys earned that. That's kind of what's sad about New York. It's a very hush culture. People kind of turn back into criminality and abuse again because you realize it's not just on Park Avenue where there's thievery and caught like abuse. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Shit, what happened to my lighting? Shit. So, it's all over the city. All over the city. That's bad. Oh, yeah, still. Let me try to get it back. Alright, so I'm going to try. Alright, so anyway. So that's kind of the point I'm making is that, so real estate and banking got fucked up. So pharmaceuticals are done. I'm going to tell you why. Synthetic processed nutrients. They're time-delayed drugs. They only last long enough for you to go back and see that doctor again, right? Why don't they just give you the nutrients every single day to be your best self? That's what your appetite is telling you. How are they going to tell you that a pill is going to solve your nutritional needs when a naturally derived herb from nature doesn't have the ability to do that? I saw my own mother try to convince me to sign SSI papers and accept that I'm disabled. I think really because she kind of raped me and some of her evil sorority sisters for a bunch of kids that ended up really just kind of flying around the internet looking expensive and spending mad fucking money. And then she tried to keep me broke and sick here in New York and eventually tried to kill me in the hospital. So I was pretty disgusted that was her outcome and solution. And none of it made any sense. I mean, the disease they were claiming I had was very easy to cure. Actually, that's what the whole CBD bankruptcy. Whoa, what the fuck is this? I'm trying to get this right. I wish it wasn't like this. I'll do this then. None of this, their whole CBD banquet of, I'm sorry, the whole banquet of abuse and psychosis was only about the fact they had to keep me sick so they wouldn't go to jail, you know, or really just be permanently disposed for the lies they told. That's what I'm saying. Somewhere along the way they got fucked up. They had to lie a lot for evil shit they did, and they couldn't make things make sense. Well, even if it was mental health problems or domestic problems or money problems, whatever it could have been, I wish they had just told me in a resolute way so I could figure out a way to put it in context and still kind of, you know, meet them in the middle where I could kind of work with them on things that we knew and what had happened. But I saw famous celebrities on rock stars, even rock stars on TV, just like leaping across the internet or whatever fucking state they were in, getting on a plane and coming to New York and trying to viscerally shoot me for dumb shit that you guys did, mind you, right? You stole beats, you fucking told a lot of lies. You work at record labels where you try to keep your producers and DJs broke. That's why a lot of times I had to work on Bob's Tech and send mixtapes in, because if I was in front of you guys, you would just pull out a gun and fucking shoot me. You know, that's what I'm saying. You guys can't respect DJs doing real shit in front of you. And it was happening when I was a kid, you know. A lot of big name groups were relying on Heavy D to make an instrumental, write a song, do something. Got to the point where, like, I might make something really fucking dope. All right, good. Now you made millions of dollars, but you never paid for that shit. You never backed, you know, legitimacy of Blacksmith Records at your bank. To the point where even my most ride or die crews, y'all stole from us as well. So I still don't know what the fuck happened to y'all, but I'm trying to get Americans on the same page, because it can happen to y'all, you know. There were different ethnic stripes between different European tribes. You notice how different crews within the Great British Empire, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, they don't really agree with England, right? They're at odds about things like the monarchy and secession. And in terms of what their cultures stipulate for each other, even their rights, right? That's why I think civil rights is what's fucked up. Civil rights is your rights within law. Human rights are really about the real core culture of your epigenetics in terms of what your biology is, what your body is right here in the here and now. Your children, your survival, procreation. We talk about that in yoga. Survival and procreation, the two fundamental pillars of what you are. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to be ready to produce an offspring, a child, and get them prepared to do the same thing. It's a multi-generational existence we have. You're here on this planet for 80, 100, maybe 100 more years plus, and that's it. You know, so you have to evolve within the wheel of karma, and you got to step off. And during that time, your health, your nutrition has to be extraordinary. You got to take care of your body. You got to be ready to be your best self. And I've seen people around me accept disease just so they can make excuses about crimes they made, you know. So anyway, so I'm going to talk about pharmacies first, okay? So, quick point here. I'm at 27 minutes. I got to get these points in within the next 20 minutes, half an hour, because I need to give you guys a lesson and leave. So, I said pharmaceuticals, fuel is a big one. The banking system is fucked. Like I said, I think Americans don't own most of the land inside of the actual physical continental nomenclature, what we call the United States of America. We're not even really considered an American country. People born here sometimes don't even own the fucking toilet that their parents let them use as kids. They kick you out of your house and send you back to broke again. I think that's really about the Vatican and Europe stipulating large amounts of wealth. Remember, you guys stole that from the Renaissance artists and communities all over Africa and Europe. You waged large wars in the Crusades to build a large fountain of wealth, and you had no consciousness in it. I'm hearing New Yorkers always talk about respect and all this dumb shit. Remember, I worked for Salt and Pepper. That whole crew went fucking psycho. They tried to kill me as a teenager because I was making beats with other crews that they didn't like, and I didn't know how to tell you guys. Warner Brothers and Time Warner, those record labels, everyone from Geffen to Epic, they're open to anybody. If you can prove you can sing a song and you want to do it, go ahead and do that shit. But those crews fall out so fucking fast, because as soon as you start making money, you turn evil and squalid and you just start shooting at DJs. I didn't know how to tell you. It's so sad to watch you guys fall into squalor and indolence, but whatever. Really what it was about bad nutrition, because remember, it was hard to get CBD consistently in New York and anywhere in America up until a couple years ago. Right? You could get it, but you'd have to know what it is, and you'd have to make it yourself. And it's hard to move large amounts of cannabis like that in and out of a community, really a city like New York, where the Gestapo fucking police admitted they'd never trust cannabis research, and they'd rather kill us for something as simple as an herb. You know, it's just so fucking stupid. By the time you spend all this money on cybersecurity and defense, you could have just put in a little bit of research to figure out ways to cure disease in a healthy way. Right? It didn't make sense. That's why I'm glad I got out of this cult of accepting disease for a check. That's what they're saying. Oh, we'll keep you sick. You could take all these pills. You'll get health insurance. You'll get into all this. Well, insurance just means that when shit fucks up, we fix it. Right? By the time you're dealing with insurance, it means you already have problems. Anyway, let me get back to this. That's part of what COVID is. It's just a structural bankruptcy. You guys lied about so many things. We just won't really see a lot of these old doctors and engineers and diplomats again. You just canceled your whole economy. So pharmaceuticals. This is why it's fucked up, right? It's about mitosis and meiosis, all right? What is it? I get confused. I think it's mitosis is what mammals do. Meiosis is what plants do, right? reason why meiosis is important with plants, sort of asexual reproduction. It's actually not asexual. They get information from pollens, from each other. But they just use that information to kind of stipulate new genetics, and then they still sort of grow asexually. They're just learning from each other. Some do pollinate, some plants just promote asexually. That's what I'm making. But a vegetable's cellular structure is very basic. It's just a single plant membrane. It's a simple molecule. When we consume them as mammals, they strictly resolve nutritional problems and nothing else. They don't produce any extra waste, right? Some plants have an organic chemistry that is, for all intents and purposes, a little bit poisonous. In fact, poison ivy or a lot of plants, for example, don't want you to touch them. That's actually their defense mechanism in nature. They don't want certain species affecting their growth. If you know a plant is poisonous, you will not touch it. You will leave it alone. Therefore, it'll grow unimpeded, right? If a plant is symbiotic, it provides nutrition or medicine, it knows that if you eat the plant, you may learn to plant the seeds and stipulate more. You see how that works? So every plant has an outcome in its environment, and especially in the forest and in nature, in terms of how it deals with other species, particularly us in this case being mammals. So the point I'm making, my light's blinking again, is that cannabis is incredibly robust. It's incredibly nutritious, right? It has many different purposes. However, when you find it in the wild, you need to understand its nature. So to do this, early man explored it, right? So the whole point I'm making is the American, I think it's the ADA, the American Drug Association, now the FDA, they were trying to stop out anything that was a threat to their revenue from pharmaceuticals. They didn't want people to stop using pills. I was kind of in that psychiatric system for like 2 or 3 years. I kind of saw what they had to offer. Once I found CBD, I upgraded my nutritional regimen, and I destroyed a lot of these diseases. It's so sad that it was that simple. But it was an inflammation disease. I wasn't getting the right nutrition. Wow, so it's really bad, this. I'm trying to make sure you can see me. I wasn't getting the right nutrition, and I was just sick from other things. I was just dealing with a couple other things, you know. Like my family was acting really fucking funny. At one point they tried to kill me. They were insane. That's what I'm saying. The people that love me, they just got away. They said it's just a banquet of abuse, but I knew I had to kind of take it to the end because they had international felonies, they had other shit. I just couldn't figure out what their story was, but I had to kind of keep observing them until I got sick and tired of hearing their bullshit. But whatever. So when I was talking about mitosis and meiosis, meiosis is what plants do for their asexual reproduction. When they make cells, it's just a very simple plant organic cell, and those cells are specific for our nutrition. As mammals, when we eat them, when they're constructed correctly, they cause no side effects. They're incredibly nutritious. Most of the fruits we eat are like this. Vegetables too, right? Cannabis is even more robust. It has a lot of complex organic molecules. It does some amazing things. So the point I'm making is that because of mitosis and meiosis, we're really designed as mammals to benefit primarily from organic plants and herbs, right? They're designed for our DNA. We ingest them and consume them correctly, and they actually solve our health problems without causing side effects, especially the correct ones, right? So the pharmaceutical industry is all processed fake fucking trash and bullshit. Those medicines are not really designed to provide long-term side effects. In fact, you'll notice all they really do is create a little bit of temporal healing. They just alleviate your symptoms for that day or the next couple of days, and you got to keep taking them regularly over and over. They're really only designed to work for a little while, those pills. The point I'm making is they don't regenerate your body. They don't promote the regrowth of healthy cells. They just keep you in this loop of obedience to, the prescription pad. That's why they got you guys fucked up. I'm sorry that so much of America got overwhelmed by disease. Had we just spent some more time not trusting a lot of fake doctors and fake medical work and doing our own research and stipulating it ourselves, we would have seen things making more sense, you see? For us as a collective, our health would have been better all around. So that's kind of what COVID is large parts of industry lied to us. That's why you notice the president put like a man that's in the army as the leader of the CDC. He's basically saying that it's like a war for genetics. That's ridiculous. I was talking about biotech before this fucking fake COVID shit happened. Now they're saying it's a virus trying to get into you guys. Come on, you guys are ridiculous, man. You guys gotta grow up. I'm sorry. This shit is so fucking fake. And they still never paid for the best work that's being done at Google, YouTube, Microsoft, Warner Brothers. I'm just saying, if you guys don't like us, then, get a better narrative. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. You could have just talked to me as an adult. Instead, they started paying for like a lot of, suggestive work. Gangbanging all the time, breaking into your house, shooting at you or making fake arrests, just trying to act like they were thugs. They really didn't do shit with that because you guys didn't have the intellect to match your solvency for what you want to see in the future. You don't have a plan, you see? You just want to shake people down and impress political figures. That's the thing. You guys juggle a lot of money around. You got no fucking respect for it, because there's nothing about your insolvency and the selfishness that you offer that you want to buy or even sell others. No one cares. People want to live their best life. They're not going to suffer for you. You see? Let me say that again. People want to live their best life. They're not going to suffer for you. And neither should they. So just tell the truth about what you want to accomplish, and let's see if we can find either you or someone like you to help accomplish those things. But that's the whole thing with capitalism. It's implicitly selfish. You guys pay to put these expensive-looking divas and these presidents and political, demagogues and, fake actors and bad actors in the intelligentsia. You guys are just not stipulating real skill. But you want to look expensive. So that's the problem there. You see? Excuse me. Nah, I don't give a fuck. So, pharmaceuticals are a big one. So the point I'm making is plants have a natural reproductive cycle that produces... I'm still trying to get this right. I'm fucking, as long as you can hear me. Plants have a natural reproductive cycle that produces their cells. They produce natural organic plant cells, membranes, and we digest those naturally. And the ones that are constructed correctly, they have strictly nutritious attributes. They're nutritional, and they don't cause side effects or disease, right? The processed foods, they always have a problem for our body. We're not really designed to eat that stuff over and over. That's the point I'm making, right? So when I was 26, the cops basically tried to kill me in a small apartment I was renting in Jackson Heights. That's why I'm saying my mother was insane. She was like fucking lashing out at me. She would never say this shit to my face, but she abuses law enforcement against me a lot. It's to the point where I didn't know how to tell them. I will not call the cops. I'm not going to buy into that rhetoric. I'm not even going to support her hysteria. But you guys ended up backing a lot of bullshit. Actually, the Republicans were kind of sarcastic about some of the news reports you guys put on the internet. Some of that stuff is actually very true. Like you guys talk about Pizzagate and like a lot of other shit and like a lot of the Hillary scam money. That's actually true shit. I'm going to talk to you about why that actually makes sense later. So like I said, I'm going to go back to my first step. Pharmaceuticals is a big one. Large industry. I think sometimes people spend $4,000 a year on health insurance, another maybe $4,000 on prescription drugs. If those are curable diseases like we think they are, a couple of well-designed herbs will destroy those diseases for as little as maybe 20, 30, 40 bucks a month. So instead of making $8,000 a year off people, you're really only making $300 to $400 a year. They're just buying basic supplements. So that's what's stupid about it. Now you guys think I tried supplements. I hate to say most of the shit that's sold in GNC and Vitamin Shop, it's fake. They made those companies and then try to terrorize people that made them. It was as simple as Erin Naturals and MedTerra and a couple of those other companies. You guys didn't really do enough. Let me light this up. Nice cannabis here. Never tobacco, ever. This is strictly cannabis with like Bob Marley papers and the raw tips. Right? You see the tip inside? See that? Strictly the power herb. Strictly the power herb. Okay? God provides. The finest horticulture God provides, alright? So like I said, pharmaceuticals, big bankruptcy. Those pills are processed medicine. Shit, I'm trying to get this right. Processed medicine, it's just complex chemical bullshit. Our body has the receptors to identify the correct molecules we need to regenerate and rebuild our bodies. And we evolve symbiotically with other plants in nature that could provide us those nutrients, specifically cannabinoids, alright? So many of those and many others. In fact, all our food is GMO. My suggestion is we start making superfoods. Let's start re-engineering our food to be 4 times stronger than the GMO shit. So that every time you buy an apple, it's going to have extraordinarily remedial effects. It's not just going to, just taste all right and make you feel okay. It should be transformational. That's what I want to see with nutrition going forward. I don't want to see suggestive, stipulatory shit. I want to see extraordinarily robust and healing foods, all right? We can make those now with the best genetic engineering. Rhythmically evolved high sciences. That's what we want. High sciences. We don't want to get stuck or in a rut. Or I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I love New Yorkers. Most of y'all are pretty cool. Most of y'all are getting savagely disrespectful also, but we'll talk about that. But but too many of you are overweight, and you're explaining as a collective that your nutrition is not working for you. and your medicines are not working for you, right? So we got to find better solutions. It was the power herb the whole time. I'm sorry to say that the mayor and the governor kept us in this fake stronghold where they were shaking us down for smoking weed. They spent billions of dollars in that fake fucking drug war. You guys should have put that towards real herbalism and research. The reason why people use drugs is because they have anxiety problems. They have, rhythmic control problems in terms of their ability to deal with stress and tension. So they need something to take the edge off for a couple of hours, right? So all you're saying is you don't have anything to deal with inflammation. Excuse me. So I had a little phlegm in there. You don't have anything to deal with inflammation or, persistent agitation of the body. So people go out and they even make street drugs to deal with that shit, right? These chemists are not stupid. They know what to sell. They know what to promote disease. Even these street level chemists, right? And these corporate doctors too that sell opioids, they also know what they're doing. I had a controversial discussion with a peer of mine that's a veteran. He said to me, you'll notice how when there's a war, especially one in the agricultural zone, the surplus product, they always try to sell a lot of it. They were trying to sell a lot of cheap prescriptions after Vietnam. They're trying to sell opioids now after they got access to the poppy fields in Afghanistan. So it's really about cheap medicine and just fake fucking chicanery. They want to create a loop where, they buy disease, they produce disease, and they sell it again. Because they never really have a loving formula when they're promoting so much weapons and banquets for torture and abuse. That's why psychology and linguistics are everything. You use your directorial skills, your art skills, whatever you have to help the people around you do better with their education, with their skills. So that's a good lesson there, right? It was always psychology and linguistics. People need weapons to appeal to their egos, to see someone being destroyed. If you choose to love, you'll know why that person died, and you'll be able to teach others to avoid that route and to be more informed. But most of these demagogues you see now clapping with guns, they don't really have the verbal and vocational skills. They cannot read all the sutras. They cannot cleanse their guilt and disease. They go out and buy weapons. They even buy the fucking uniforms that go with it. But they are not honoring us as a tribe. They bought into banquets of violence. And they've violated Central Asia. And they never had a solvency plan. Never. Never, never, never. They just broke and told so many lies. That's what I'm saying. All the scientists, the doctors, the engineers, the healers, those of you, you are the righteous ones. Right? Everyone else can sit their ass the fuck down until we really learn about the natural methods of Gaia. Right? All the things we have to do to heal this planet are right here. You guys didn't need to go running around, running hussy and rampant. They actually have satellites in space. So they go talk a lot of dirty and fucked up business about what they're going to do on Earth. And they come back looking bankrupt and stupid. If you're all so effective and amazing, go stipulate your own fucking planets. So, sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to the first step. So pharmaceuticals, fucked up, processed meds. It's a cycle of dependency on doctors. They actually tried to lure me into asking doctors for shit. And when they were done, they said we could just kill them right now. They claim I'm running MTEL, Rolls-Royce, Cadillac. They're dumping companies at me because corporations don't want to be bothered. I can see why. I mean, by the time you're done with making all this shit, you actually need design. You actually need art. Who's in our age group that's really dope with that shit? Who's holding it down as a biotech developer? As we develop everywhere from software and IT. I hate to say Google's a nasty company. They never honor me. Microsoft the same way. They still talk shit and make jokes on social media, but they're not really coming correct with the ducat. So, auto industry is just as bad. You guys are shooting each other over cars and over shit like races and shit like that. You can get hype if you want. By the time you're done, you're realizing energetically those industries don't do so well because you need to make sure people get paid and that we do better with our materials investments and our engineers. That's what I'm saying. Young adults in these industries now, we got to kind of reevaluate the emotional currency of the work we're doing because it looks like art, blacksmithing, these industries are bankrupt, especially now because of the internet. There's so many of you looking for things. You really can't show up and tell the truth about who you are, what you want. That's what I'm saying. I can't sell fake for y'all. If you know what the fuck you're doing, just grow the fuck up and start talking to me in the realm of the real. Otherwise, step your ass to the side. We're not peddling fake shit. I gotta do better, but for my tribe and the next one. So, yeah, you guys really made Ray Cups. You really tried to sabotage and attack my family and keep us broke and sick. I've seen my own sons and daughters sometimes claim people are trying to violate them, and I'm amazed. I couldn't figure out where they went. I think you guys are just in the fucking hussy game of selling stem cells and doing like fake in vitro and these sort of banquet fucking rapes that really got y'all fucking fucked up real bad. That's what I'm saying. I hope my kids are doing better. If they're not, you can find me. You gotta find me one way or the other. We're gonna solve it, It's to the point now where a lot of the places that were safe places for us, places for my family to go in the Caribbean and other parts of the world, there was really nowhere for us to go where we could get a real story, in terms of how it is that we dealt with each other as a collective, you know, and things got real nasty and violent, but for the wrong reasons, not the right ones. And that's the point I'm making, is a lot of millennials, those of you, I don't want to call you millennials, that's not what you are, but those of you that are kind of my contemporaries, a little younger, you guys kind of need to grow up in terms of how you look at economics. Hot 97 is fake. A lot of those are the ill-ass hits that we make, that I make, especially at Spectrasonic. You'll see me sometimes on YouTube as Malik Youssef. Even Malik Youssef is a scam. It's like they don't really honor the things that we make, you know. So it's just we're done at scamming all the fucking way. People have egos in commerce and in entertainment. They want to seem important, right? So sometimes the best work is done by the most quiet people. You don't really need to see us. Even if you did, I still got to hold this high for my family. I'm really only coming out just to tell you that, you know, most of your economy is fake. Corporations get very violent, hyper violent. They'll get a machine gun to kill a logo and all of its staff as soon as they can find you. If that's not the case, then you guys need to get a real story, you know. Because you guys were eager to shoot at me, but still not make sure you paid for things. So you guys got to come correct with what y'all doing. You see, you got to come correct. So like I said, the first one, pharmaceuticals, power herbs, strict regenerative herbs, right? Next one, fuel. I hate to say it, guys, gasoline is basically waste. It's basically large amounts of tar deposits in the desert, you know, and anywhere where there's been large amounts of environmental fallout from thousands, if actually millions of years, really, of sedimental and sedentary buildup of organic material, trees, animals, plants, rivers, all that just calcifies and cements underground as these large tar deposits. So you can extract that tar. It's just black oil at that point. But the thing about oil is, as it ferments a little bit, it starts to have certain combustive properties and other properties. So it's just a very, very old sort of sludge. So you could take it and you can refine it at different temperatures with other chemicals, and you can make gasoline. Problem with tar is it's poorly situated shit. It's actually waste. So as you burn it, it makes a byproduct that's pretty gross. My whole thing is that the sort of older demagogues and monarchs, they decided they had a two-plan bankruptcy. They were going to build this planet up monetarily, make large amounts of money. They were going to poison the planet, kill all of Central Asia. When they were done, they were going to come back down again in spaceships and restipulate it again. So that's kind of what this whole pollution, toxic narrative is about, is if we can find a way of killing everyone and just rebuilding a planet cyclically every couple hundred years, we'll just be gods, and we'll never have to acknowledge any law or anything we say or sell. And I'll be honest, they're eager to grab at advanced technology. They'll grab it any chance they get. They'll make satellites that can take them to space and under the cover of night if they want. They make deals, they engineer technologies, they make weapons, they come up with ways to disrupt the market. And when they come back, they're back to stuck on fucking stupid, because without love, you can't rule even your own household. How are you going to rule other people? See? Consider wisely. So that's kind of what it is. You know, it's just a banquet of indolence. If you guys read all the sutras, you realize you really can't get to your best life without your truest love. And I see you guys just walk around stuck on stupid. I don't know what to tell you. You guys are adults. You got to be able to talk. You know my real name. It's on every social media profile I have. Just speak to me, to a man, and to a brum. If not, you guys got to cancel this fake shit, you know, because COVID is nothing real. There's no confirmed cases of nothing. Right? That's what I'm saying. Trump put a member of the military as part of the CDC. That's what it is. You guys don't have a real fucking story. If you can't wage war overseas, you'll wage a war right here against Americans. Right? This whole banquet of defense contractors is large amounts of money, trillions of dollars that you guys spend on weapons. Really, like, I guess they're like $85 pens and pencils. That's the whole joke. You guys buy a lot of expensive shit. Some of it even just office supplies, and when you're done, you hype up and raise the price, and you claim you can do that based on your war powers. It's pretty stupid, but war powers don't end up adding to much when you guys always defer to a chain of command, which is really the president in the Oval Office is bumbling his thumbs trying to figure out a way to pay off his fucking goon-like hyper-industrialist. That's what I'm saying. You all need to sit the fuck down. Go buy a Corvette and just go chill. Right? Don't even buy these cars. I'm gonna have to start stipulating new firms, because I mean, these companies are bankrupt. You guys will buy a car and realize by the time you spend 70 G's on a Corvette, you could have just found me and just given me cash. I see you guys still wearing these little Nickelodeon shirts. Stop it. Nickelodeon is a slavery job. Those kids did not get paid. They did not do well. In fact, you guys tried to kill us. I'm serious. So don't even wear those shirts. I've seen enough of those now. For each $20 shirt I've seen, you guys could have put together, what, $5,000 for me. And just people I've seen in the last 3 weeks wearing those stupid ass jerseys and shirts. So grow the fuck up. You guys got to get real communication skills. You got to get real banking and real intellectual resolution skills. Right? Art is a big deal. The global economy is buying a lot of it. The internet is a massive success. It's in almost all your households, but you're realizing You know, you like the same sort of stories and the same archetypes and the same directors. Well, that's cool, but we got to get paid. We got to do better. So that's all I'm saying, all right? But we're going to work all this out. There's methods for all this. Your legal system's so contaminated. I think you guys forced me to sign bankruptcy papers when I went to college. You drugged me by gunpoint and forced me to sign my name. When I was done, you shot me in the head. Well, I survived. You still kind of took those contracts and ran. That's why I left PA, because Pennsylvania was a big, awful scam. It was basically a scam job, and you tried to kill me out there. So, you know, I had to fucking cancel that shit. So now I'm still seeing you guys running around with large-scale software platforms that you guys are stipulating as outright theft. So you can keep doing that shit if you want, but you notice you're not going to get nowhere with that. And you guys are still proud of this fake chicanery in your legal work. It's pretty disgusting. Alias Maya, Adobe, several of the biggest software platforms are just bereft. But I think it was you guys were just bipolar and mentally ill the whole time. Once again, it's still a lack of research. You guys could have just put money together to figure out ways to fix this problem. So I'm just saying, the global community was strangleholded. You guys were always lying to each other. That's a bad sign. You guys need to grow up. Hold on a second. So pharmaceuticals, big one. Fuel, it's just tar. It's just oil and tar deposits underground from large amounts of environmental fallout from sometimes thousands and millions of years of sedimentary buildup. You can make it a lot of different ways, but you know it's just waste, and it's waste. They extract it, they produce it into fuel, and it produces more waste, and it just never really produces a balance in the environment. It's just really disgusting and smelly. Climate change, even if you raise the planet by 1.5 degrees, you could fix that by stipulating nature. Plant more seeds, seaweed, trees everywhere. Make sure that the environment always has a way of filtering waste. You do that, you get all the pollutants out. Now the environment can gradually balance itself. Temperature, flow of electrons and energy, even flow of the water and natural hydro cycles. Everything from rivers to the ocean, everything will balance again. Animals will start to flourish. So that's the key there. Don't ever let vegetation that does natural filtration work, or any type of basically filtration or any type of cyclical environmental duty that's essential to the ecosystem. Don't let those plants and animals fall out ever. They have to survive. You have to regenerate them also. So that's a lesson there, right? And I was going to say two others because I think I made this video too long. Another big bankruptcy is, I said fuel. You guys can't trade on the stock market and type of stipulate fake shit, right? There's not enough companies in New York doing real work. That's the thing. I mean, I practically work at Microsoft Windows. By the time you guys have to go to work and do all these business deals, you realize you're using software you made, that we made as a family, and then you try to steal from us and then bankrupt us. You always made jokes, oh, we gave you Nintendo, we gave you this. You didn't give me a damn fucking thing. I put in mad fucking hours in the movies, in the games I direct, and the art I make. To the point now, we can't sell it around you guys. We gotta export it. I'm sorry, but you guys are not honoring us as developers, so stop looking stupid, alright? We gotta do real work. Well, what the fuck? Anyway, whatever. I'm trying to get this to work. So, that's it, friends. The market's not working. Fuel's a bad one. It's just waste. They're trying to sell it to you twice. Invest in hemp ethanol. I talked about that. That's vegetable fuel, actually. It's fuel just made from fermented, not really fermented, kind of processed, oxygenated vegetables, actually. Really hemp. You can learn about hemp ethanol. I don't think I'm describing the process right, but YouTube has videos about it. Different people discuss it, actually. Then there was the CBD bankruptcy. We really just need the right organic molecules. Oh, my screen's flickering. That light doesn't like the dark. We need the right organic molecules to make sure that we regenerate our bodies. CBD oil tincture is a very good one. There's an herb to cure everything. That's the point I'm making. That's why the pharmaceutical industry was fake the whole time. They didn't really allow herbal research, so we canceled those dollars. The other two I wanted to say, I'm going to have to just say them quickly. Stock market's fake. You don't need people betting about corporations just to create a global international hype train. You don't even pay the directors right here in New York that do most of the work that you guys buy, right? You guys can't make it a weekend of your binge watching or watching TV without honoring shows that we work on. So you guys gotta chill, right? I mean, you guys threw a lot of networks at me and didn't pay for none of them. And I had that problem before I even started working at some of the larger streaming services. So you guys gotta grow up. Ooh, wow, really bad. And what else? The last one. So the stock market's fake. They were basically paying for and buying fake stocks. Sometimes they'd make like an antitrust, which is a corporation about the fact that they want another corporation to fail, or that they sort of have like a counter narrative, which is like, we don't like this company, we want to raise money to stop them, kind of. But that's not a real company. It's just a fake thing. But they would like kind of sell these as like real stocks, and they made a lot of weird shit. Just companies that were stipulatorily large, but they really weren't. So you kind of double the value of a real firm, which is you take a real company like my production firm, You make an antitrust, which is the same size, and you value them both at like $500 billion, and then you say, oh, well, Malik's really $1 trillion. No, you made a $500 million fake company about my company, and you try to sell it to the stock market. You see what I'm saying? Shit like this is the tricks they pull. So much fucking fake shit. So the stock market's got to get reevaluated. The last one you guys wanted was a global currency. Bitcoin was that. Everyone that was intelligent enough to see that a global currency really would save us realized, wow, those of you that invested in it first did really well. You see Bitcoin's going up right now. You can see the price on any vending machine that sells, ATM rather, that sells it, and any website that has a currency exchange that's properly run will tell you the correct cost to Bitcoin. And that's it, friends. I mean, there's a lot to buy and explore. It's just that the globe is better stipulated now that you're not dealing with as many international embargoes. Still, large parts of the world have environmental and political leadership problems. Some of you are still living in countries where they won't even allow you to use your free speech to make money. Some of you are fucking endowed with beauty, money and the ability to travel, but you just don't have anything to show for it. You don't take any energetic risk with your creativity. You just fucking lie all the time. And then you sabotage things that you respect. That's what I'm saying. They kind of forced me practically under the causations of slave labor to make movies at Disney. And when they were done, they didn't want to honor me to a man and to a Brahmin to see, we got to pay this guy. Instead, they came around trying to kill me. You see, they actually shot me. So that's what I'm saying. My family paid for me to have better systems so I could protect myself and heal myself however I could, wherever I was at, last one is real estate. You can't tell me that Americans don't own most of the land in this country. I mean, even if you're Italian American, Greek American, definitely if you're Taino or if you're a Native American, if you're African or from West Africa and you've been living in the Americas for thousands of years, even before there was invasions, and you're still here now, or let's say you're a Native American, or if you just immigrated to America in your first generation, or if you are descendants of slaves, or let's say even if you're Irish, Scottish, or Welsh, and you were fighting for your rights and your civil rights, and you kind of came out of it, everything from suffering. You see so many stories of how people came through struggle to find peace in the United States from many different types of struggle. And we ended up waging wars with each other, or against each other. Oh, shit. For no reason. I couldn't see enough solvency from those of you as a collective. So I really think we were just dealing with domestic problems and mental health problems, really. We weren't really communicating in our households, and we weren't taking care of our nutrition. We weren't also stipulating the right habits for our dictation in terms of how we speak and communicate with each other. So, and there's always a positive way to invest and a positive way to win. So don't think that you got to hurt someone now to get what you want. In most cases, that's not the case. That's just a lot of abusive attitudes you guys have. So commit to the long-term victories, long-term strategies. Plan ahead. Start basically with what you can do now and start looking far into the future as to what's going to come next. And that's the thing about it. People that really honor their work and that honor their real value, they find that their tribes and the ones around them do better. So I don't think I really did those last two things, the last two bankruptcies fair. I had remembered it earlier in the day, but as the day went by, I kind of forgot what I was going to say. But if it comes to me later, I'll follow up. Like I said, the first one is pharmaceuticals. Complete trash. You can't accept processed medicine for an organic living human being. We have to have organic nutrients for our organic biology, right? The next one was, what did I say? Fuel. Fuel is just waste. It's just like, processed waste sitting under the desert. There's nothing about it that's substantive enough to justify us having to build our economy around pollution. See what I'm saying? So we could have went straight to hemp ethanol and electric motors. In fact, the government knows that. Even the fucking subway in New York is run on electric motors. And quite frankly, the bus is supposedly hybrids. I think they use like a hydrogen fuel cell to, run that, or a couple other things, or they could use ethanol. But the thing is that it's kind of a scam for them to say that they're not doing it. They already know about this technology. So why are they selling gasoline cars every year, right? That's a scam as well, right? So I'm just saying, I'm not being too idealistic. Parts of the global market don't have anything positive to offer. They don't have anything that's really that innovative or technologically advanced. They kind of sell old, grog, corny, poorly stipulated tech, like coal and charcoal and gasoline. You guys got to grow up. We're in a more innovative age. We cannot pollute this planet. And at the scale of the population now, it's practically doubled in the last 100 years. We double as a species fast. So we have to figure out what our technology goals are going to be. They have to be sustainable and healthy for everyone. And we can do that. We just got to make sure that we have a long-term plan for clean energy. And that even the tools we use to make clean energy, rare earths, magnets, those things, that we can stipulate those in a consistent way without damaging our economy and environment. So don't shoot at engineers or scientists or developers. Find a way to do better. But I'm just saying, don't be too impressed by people you see in New York. They're selling fake and chicanery to last year. I think they're practically flying tourists in to make the city look like there's something going on. It's a sad story. It's a sad bankruptcy. So I said pharmaceuticals, that was a scam the whole time. When I was 26, I was dealing with some health problems. And I told my people there has to be an herb that helps me deal with this. And I have to get a proper proper diagnosis that I can research elsewhere. Because the medical system around me was really sick and pathetic. They basically kicked my ass, put me on Medicaid, and tried to keep me sick, while the rich were walking around looking real fucking stupid, even paying for plastic surgery and using nutrition that wasn't helping. So I don't know what the fuck they teach you guys, but you guys need to connect with real science. That was what was missing. So I knew there was herbalism the whole time. I just had to find the correct molecule. Eventually, a doctor just told me, an herbalist in the Caribbean, she said this is the one. And it was CBD, in fact. I'm still seeing New Yorkers have difficulty accepting it, but you guys bought yourself into this bankruptcy. You didn't really want to trust us. You really wouldn't honor natural systems. You wanted scientists and these demagogues on TV to tell you what finance is and what all your money is. Quite frankly, you guys are dealing with too many weight problems, too many health problems. You're not even really enjoying your careers and your family, let alone all this money you guys have stashed up. So find a better narrative. I'm basically fucking broke in New York, and I'm just endowed with beauty and intelligence. I never really felt like I had to sell out for this shit. So that's what's sad about it. Everyone has to have a better story. So, like I said, I hit an hour. I did too much. And the last two were basically the stock market. You guys are just inflating and constantly making bets on companies you don't honor. I can't sell any of the work I did at Microsoft because a lot of their sort of CEOs or PR demagogues are basically little divas. They don't really do much for me. They never fucking pay me a proper check. So Bill Gates got to send his ass to jail. And any other studio at Microsoft that didn't have a real story, I mean, you guys got to grow up. Like it looks like Killer Instinct in Microsoft Studios. That's a game that I made with my family. You guys never paid for that game, and you're still charging money for it. So you guys got to grow up. I'm serious. Otherwise, I'm going to make my own graphics titles, and I got to keep your asses out. And we're going to export those. Right? They're not sold in this country because you guys steal too much. All right. So I said pharmaceuticals. I said that one. Fuels done. Stock market, chicanery, and the last one is probably what? What's the last one I'm going to say? I said it already, but I don't remember. Main one is nutrition. Take care of your health. CBD is a big one. Right? If you go to my Twitter, Malik Francois _, you'll see 5 supplements at the top. You got to buy right away. They're all under $20-$30 at most. They'll do a lot for you. They'll basically get a lot of curable disease out of your regimen. You'll lose a lot of weight. You'll do a lot of stuff. I'm amazed. My family, I think, tried to keep me sick from a multi-trillion-dollar health insurance scam. I basically broke out of a lot of diseases in their fake chicanery for $80. I really wasn't that sick, but I had a couple little nagging problems. I know they were definitely very sick. I mean, they had multiple health problems. They use everything from tobacco to cocaine sometimes, and they always would try to lie about it. I'm like, y'all, it's so stupid. You should have just kept it real dread the way we did in the Caribbean. Only use the power herbs, only fuck with cannabis or shit that we fuck with energetically that's organic, and leave all the waste and the disease behind. But I think they were just in the wrong circles in their youth, and they just kept buying into a lot of the lies and the mischief they sold. Well, like I was going to say, let me finish this up because it's already an hour in. Republicans are right about this little Hillary Pizzagate shit. I got shot in Hastings over a deal that my family claimed we honored with Pizza Hut. I ended up at Domino's, which is another scam. They never really paid for Domino's. So now you guys are all holding down pizza stores with money that you guys got that's basically stolen money. You didn't really honor those deals. So, I mean, you could look stupid if you want, but we got to actually make sure things are paid for and finished. So Pizzagate is actually kind of a thing. They really would kind of go to pizza stores. I think it was like a chain pizzerias. And they'd hide a lot of the money. They claimed they had to hide money from me ever since I was 18 because of the slush funds were really about faking medical records. And that's the thing with the Queens County Supreme Court. You guys are fucking dullards. You should have come to me direct about my medical condition instead of paying police to pay someone else to investigate. I think you guys are spying on us consistently. You never had a real fucking story. And then they would try to poison me and keep me sick. The catch is, even as this happened, I think some young little chick, I talked about the Army Reserve being a scam. That's not a real thing. It's basically the Catholic Church planning a large-scale bankruptcy, which is that they gotta basically, pay to basically wage war over nothing, really. But whatever. If you guys are behaviorally and intellectually under control, you realize you don't have a reason for that. But whatever. Figure out what works for you. You just gotta keep trying. All right. I want to see metaphysics, science, evolution, biology, everything be handled on the same plane. There's going to be some mysteries in the universe, so you can accept that if you know the correct methods for why that is. But don't get lost in a fantasy world about things you never paid for and things you don't honor, and some gods that you whimsically banter to that don't even manifest. We got to really deal with real problems in the here and now, right? So the empirical world, the world of the living, is the one you want, the material one. That's what this dimension is. There are other levels of energy, however. You can tap into those as well, but don't get lost in the dream world. We got to solve problems in the here and now. Alright? So that's it, friends. Causally connected to the best science. You'd be surprised. The solutions can come in the most humble mustard seed, or it could be in the largest iron ore project in history. You'll never know if you fake it and accept lies. So be ready to be your best self and tell the truth, alright? And you got to get this fake fucking shit off your resume. Don't even come around me, those of you all that are confused if you don't know what you're doing. I don't think most of you have a real story. A lot of entertainment and the sort of political intelligentsia, y'all fucking faking it to the last day. I'll be honest, if you're making a couple $1 million in New York, people know they're going to try to kill you if they don't like your narrative. They shot me as a minor. I endured all that and still watched the city go through cycles of bankruptcy, just lying over and over. And no one ever had any real money to show for it. So I'm just saying, y'all can go cancel your dull-ass careers. We're going to have to come out of this and do better for our tribes, alright? So that's it, friends. Eat carefully. So like I said, pharmaceuticals done. Fake processed medicine. Fuel industry done. It's all processed trash and large char deposits that we never resolve. Stock market, same thing. You're just making bets on companies that you don't even honor anyway. So don't even try it. And I had one more, but I forgot. So, whatever. Y'all figure it out. But large structural bankruptcies, like I said, are real estate. Americans don't own most of the land we have. The market was sabotaging local banks and even large banking systems, keeping Americans broke. And then the international community would show up and buy everything from land to even take over markets. That's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. You guys got to follow procedure and make sure we honor those around us. I could leave America as soon as I could, but I'd be back to having this problem overseas. There's already like military forces and even mercenaries that they pay to sabotage the art community or anyone that has any job that they feel they respect. So you got to go somewhere knowing what the fuck is going on. They're going to come at you with heavy weapons. They shot me before. It ain't nothing nice. And they still don't know what the fuck they're doing, see? So that's what I'm saying. Just choose to regenerate, heal, learn, and refine. All this anger and anguish, it just gets left behind. There's no part of it that we really honor. Even when people promote all this banquet of abuse and tyranny, they get stuck in the end feeling like, well, what do we really get from this? And the answer is nothing. Your enemies, even those left behind after you vanquish them, they don't really have any respect for you. And they didn't suffer for you. They want to have their own version of love. So what you want to do is give everyone a chance to become a grand master. All right? And that's a lesson there. Create real healers. Not leaders, because what you guys call leaders in New York is just fucking fake chicanery in the media. Y'all not telling the truth. And when people come out and tell you what it is, you try to attack them for it. So that's what I'm saying. Don't even try that shit. Commit to the realm of the real and your best self, and learn how to tell what is actually empirical and valid. And that's all it is, friends. The truth withstands scrutiny. I'm going to tell you again. The truth withstands scrutiny. All right? So get ready to step up your intelligence and upgrade what you do and what you have to offer, and be the best version of you, and leave all the disease and the guilt and all that inhibition and deception behind. Just tell the truth, speak it plainly, and put it into context. Don't even hurt over it. Make sure you explore all of yourself with your yoga. All right? Honor every part of you. Honor every part of you. Nothing is to be ashamed of, and put it in context to yourself, your family, and what's relative to your life. All right? And just take care of your nutrition. Herbs, fruits, and grain, we're going to put the rest into context. These are big industrial deals that fell out nasty. And you guys you vampirically predatorized the young CEOs or the young directors. You didn't really fuck with us. And you turned on us, and 10 years later you realized, shit, we practically destroyed the whole industries and just kept making jokes until we looked stupid and went to jail. So that's kind of what the fuck happened to y'all, alright? So that's it, friends. So herbs, fruits, and grain. Employ the finest horticulture guide provide. Heal, learn, and refine. Alright? So, United States of America, New York State, Queens County. My name is Malik Francois. It's September 4th, 2020. That's all, friends. End transmission. Rome Ducats.